And good morning, friends. Welcome to The Bright Side. I am Pharmacist Ben, and thank you for joining us on The Bright Side. 844-236-6010 is our number, as always. And if you have questions, comments, success stories you'd like to share, we'd love to hear from you. If you have a comment or success story as well, we'd like to hear from you. 844-236-6010. Nina Sutton will be with us at the bottom of the hour. Nina is a beauty and style expert. She's a host of multiple TV shows, and she's appeared on The Doctors and on Fashion Police, Oprah Winfrey Network, The Ricky Lake Show, Fox News, and many, many more television programs. She's going to talk to us about real beauty at every age. Nina Sutton at the bottom of the hour. We'll get your calls next segment, 844-236-6010. If you want to purchase longevity products, go to brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, criticalhealthnews.com for all the longevity products. You can also click on the Join the Team link if you want to sign up to join the Brightside Ben team. For a one-time $30 fee, you can be in business for yourself. You can call 866-735-2470 if you'd like to speak to someone, or you can just click on the Join the Team link at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. All right, 844-236-6010 is our number, and Nina Sutton will be with us at the bottom of the hour talking about her book, The Chic Mom's Guide to Feeling Fabulous. That's at the bottom of the hour. We'll get to your calls next segment. Want to continue talking about the digestive system and very misunderstood, or let's say underappreciated nutritional supplement, and that's betaine, also known as trimethylglycine. It's a derivative of the amino acid glycine. I'm going to have a lot to say about that one. The amino acid glycine is... that's stupendously valuable, particularly when it comes to the skin and anti-aging. Glycine is one of those amino acids that we don't talk a lot about. It's the simplest amino acid. It's found abundantly in connective tissue. It's found it's a raw material for the production of connective tissue, and it's transmuted or transformed into betaine. Excuse me, betaine is a methylized glycine. Technically, betaine is trimethylglycine. Last program, we talked about betaine as it relates to hydrochloric acid, and indeed, hydrochloric acid and betaine go together, as in betaine hydrochloride. And that's when most of us think of betaine, or when most of us see betaine, we see betaine HCl on our digestive enzyme supplements. Betaine HCl is two things, two components, two elements, two molecules, the betaine molecule and the HCl molecule. And yes, it's true, the HCl molecule is super duper important, and betaine HCl is oftentimes talked about as a delivery system or a delivery entity for delivering hydrochloric acid, which otherwise would be very difficult to deal with, because hydrochloric acid is pretty darn acidic. It's really acidic. You can get a prescription for hydrochloric acid, and the pharmacist will make drops. Take hydrochloric acid and put it in water, and you'll get it in a little dropper bottle, and you put a couple drops of hydrochloric acid water in a glass of water and drink it down with your meals, and that's a good way of acidifying the stomach. But the betaine itself has got some really interesting properties. Last program, we talked about the importance of hydrochloric acid. We said that low hydrochloric acid is a much more significant health challenge than too much hydrochloric acid. Somehow or another, we've been led to believe that, and actually it makes kind of makes sense that we make too much hydrochloric acid, because most of us think about heartburn or reflux disease. Heartburn and reflux disease are pretty miserable conditions just to deal with, but they're also they can be significant health challenges. There's a particularly nasty form of esophageal disease, disease of the esophagus called Barrett's esophagus, which can kill you. Esophageal cancer is a deadly form of cancer, and both of these are linked to the splashback of acid from the stomach into the esophagus. So it makes sense. You say, well, if I've got acid splashing into my esophagus, I'll just shut down my acid production. Unfortunately, you need acid. And shutting down acid production pharmacologically, while it is done, and probably the best-selling drugs in the world are drugs that suppress acid production. When I was graduated pharmacy school in the mid-1980s, the two best-selling drugs were Zantac and Tagamet. And out of 100 prescriptions, if I was going to fill 100 prescriptions a day, 20 or 30 of them would be for Zantac or Tagamet. First it was Tagamet, cimetidine. Then it was Zantac. That was like the high-tech version of Tagamet. Today you can get both of them over the counter. And today you can get these PPI drugs like Nexium, which is also a best-selling drug. In fact, between the PPI drugs, Nexium, and Prilosec, and Zantac and Tagamet, and if you want to throw in the old-timers like Tums, you've got pretty much the biggest selling class of drugs of all are these acid-suppressing drugs that control acid. So you would think that everybody's making too much acid, and that is absolutely 100% not the case. Ironically, when you're making too little acid, that's one of the main reasons you can have splashback, because acid controls hormones and controls complicated chemistry that tightens up the sphincter that connects the esophagus to the stomach. You have a little muscle that connects the esophagus to the stomach. It's called the LES, or the lower esophageal sphincter. And this LES is tied into, or it's controlled by, acid, at least partially. The relationship between acid and various hormones and neurotransmitters controls this LES. So when you're not making enough acid, this LES can get sloppy. It can relax. When you're not making enough acid and this LES relaxes, guess what? That's when the little acid that you are making will splash up. And you'll think you're making too much acid, and you'll take your Nexium or your Prilosec or whatever it is you're taking, your Zantac or your Tagamet or your Tums. And what that's going to do is that's going to suppress or neutralize the little acid you are making. Why is acid important? Well, you can't digest your food without acid, particularly proteins. You can't activate your enzymes without acid. Under conditions of low stomach acid, hypochlorhydria or achlorhydria, you can end up with an overgrowth of a bacteria called H. pylori. H. pylori is associated with stomach ulcers and intestinal ulcers. And interestingly, now instead of Tagamet or Zantac, when you get if you have an ulcer and you go to the doctor, they used to give you acid suppressants. Now they'll give you antibiotics, because now they know that ulcerations of the stomach and the intestine are caused by a bacteria, not too much acid. There's also skin conditions that can be caused by elevated levels of H. pylori, particularly rosacea. Rosacea is the name means redness, and it's a condition where your skin on your face will get red and you'll see kind of vasculature. Sometimes it'll be associated with acne or oily skin. Rosacea is not a skin problem. It's an immune system problem. And you can't really treat rosacea with topical products, even though there's lots of rosacea creams out there, and there's lots of skincare professionals who will give you various topical preparations, including antibiotic preparations and steroid creams, to quiet down rosacea. Well, everybody with rosacea will tell you that it's linked to particular foods that they're eating. But what they don't know is that by improving stomach acid production, by using betaine HCl or even hydrochloric acid drops, you can go a long way towards improving rosacea by destroying the H. pylori bacteria. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back on the bright side right after this. We are back on the bright side. I am Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll get your calls momentarily. Nina Sutton will be with us at the bottom of the hour. We're going to talk about her book, The Chic Mom's Guide to Feeling Fabulous. Nina is a beauty consultant, and she's been on multiple TV shows, including The Doctors and E-Fashion Police and The Ricky Lake Show and Fox News and many, many more. She was the winner of People Magazine's first Real Beauty at Every Age in May 2012, and the first person to appear in People Magazine's Most Beautiful issue. And she's got an online television show called Everyday Fabulous. We'll talk to Nina at the bottom of the hour. We'll get to your calls in our next segment, 844-236-6010. So, we're talking about achlorhydria, low stomach acid, or hypochlorhydria, depending on who you ask, I suppose. Some people say hypo, some people say A. Hypochlorhydria is a big health issue. Lots of things can be caused by low stomach acid. Whether or not they're due to H. pylori, or whether H. pylori is the end result of low stomach acid. H. pylori can actually induce low stomach acid, and low stomach acid can increase the proliferation of H. pylori. It's a positive feedback system. And low stomach acid is associated with all kinds of health issues, including anemia and problems absorbing minerals like boron and selenium and copper and magnesium. You take all the supplements you want, but if you're not making enough stomach acid, you're going to have a problem absorbing them. You're going to particularly have a problem breaking down proteins that can lead to autoimmune disease, bloating, gas, burping, diarrhea, or constipation. Skin problems, especially rosacea, is a classic example of a skin problem that's associated with low stomach acid. Weak nails, weak and brittle nails can be caused by low stomach acid. If you get nauseous when you take your supplements, that can be a problem. That means you're not absorbing your supplements. They're just sitting in your digestive system. If you have undigested food in your stool, when you have a bowel movement, that could be a sign of low stomach acid. And if you have low stomach acid, you have medical issues like the biggest culprit, the most important and the most significant medical issue associated with low stomach acid is autoimmunity. Autoimmunity is the end result of undigested food secondary to low stomach acid getting into the blood. Asthma, allergies, people who have allergic reactions, or people who are allergic to absolutely everything they eat could very well be dealing with hypo or achlorhydria. And as we said, also rosacea can be the result of low stomach acid and the accumulation of H. pylori bacteria. H. pylori, by the way, is the only bacteria that is classified as a carcinogen, and it's associated with Barrett's esophagus, the esophageal disease that's linked to GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease. H. pylori is also associated with Hashimoto's thyroid. We'll talk more about H. pylori tomorrow. Actually, we'll talk more about H. pylori and hypochlorhydria tomorrow, and then we'll continue talking about betaine HCl and also about betaine by itself. Just plain old betaine is turning out to be a very interesting and multifunctional nutrient. Just betaine by itself, not betaine HCl. Of course, if you take your ultimate enzymes, you're going to get betaine HCl, meaning you'll get HCl for your digestive system, and you'll be getting betaine or trimethylglycine for methylation and for a whole bunch of other things that nobody ever talks about, really. Did you know betaine can actually be used to help you lose weight and burn fat? We'll talk about that tomorrow as we continue talking about methylation on the bright side. 844-236-6010 is our number. Let's go to the phones and say good morning to our friend in Alaska, Elaine. Hello, Elaine.
Hey, good morning. I'm calling back.
Yes, I remember I told you to call back, but I don't remember what we talked about.
Yeah, so we were talking about the Matrix and how everything is just in lockdown. Our last mayor resigned. Now we have an unelected acting mayor, and she is just on fire for shutting down small business, but you can keep the big box stores open. And so everything's been shut down now almost 2 weeks. There's no changes in the cases. In fact, and the cases, that's a whole nother issue. But, now the cases are going up. So they're just going to lock
cases. No, don't say cases. Yeah. Say positive tests.
I know. I know.
So last I heard, there were about 100 or 200 people who died in Alaska. I think, is this, what is this statistic? It's a very small number, right? It's in the hundreds.
Yeah. It's the hospitals are not overwhelmed. One of my patients is a nurse, PRN, and she is not getting called in. They're not that busy, yet these epidemiologists present, we're just flooded and we're on the edge.
So what do you think's happening here, Elaine? Are we being lied to? Are they just? Do they believe their own BS? Or hang on, Elaine. Do they believe their own BS, or are they lying? In your opinion?
To me, this is not. This is not a Democrat-Republican issue. This is not a globalist patriot issue. To me, this is an issue between good and evil, and we're in the face of it. And it was so inspiring. So we're having these underground meetings. There's going to be a top lawyer for Alaska. There's going to be some class action lawsuits, and then there's going to be some civil disobedience. I can't believe civil disobedience is, I'm going to open my small restaurant and serve people.
That's disobedience. That has to be disobedience.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. But so I'm just calling to give people encouragement. It's so easy to feel hopeless, but that's what the dark side wants. They want us to either lose it or to lose hope. And do not lose hope. Keep fighting. Find those advocates out there. Come together as a group, because that's what they don't want. They don't want us coming together. Any area where we can come together and meet, that's shut down. But, you can have Costco, you can have Walmart, you can have all the corporate open. It's unbelievable what's going on.
What about your patients? What are your patients thinking?
I have a patient. She has to sneak to come see me past her husband. I have another patient. Her husband will not let her out of the house. This is sick. It is crazy.
Wait a minute. Her husband won't let her out of the house?
Yes.
There's laws about that, aren't there?
Hello. And she wants to, I guess comply or obey. This is sick. This is not healthy. So we just have to keep educating one people at a time. I pray to God you don't get censored. It seems like when these sites start to grow, truth is an emergent property. Truth requires the Socratic method. And if you want to get to the truth, you have to ask Christians of all
That's right.
sides.
Thank you, Elaine.
When they're suppressing the other narrative or the other perspective, this is not healthy. So
you're good for you, Elaine. I like that. I like your attitude. Keep it up. Spread the word.
Doing what you do. So thank you so much for your show and how much you've helped me. So
thank you, Elaine. Take care. Have a beautiful day.
Okay.
All right. I like that Socratic method. Critical thinking, folks, is what it's all about. Let's see if I get one more call in. What's going on? Whoever you are. I didn't see who you were before I clicked on the. Who am I speaking to?
Lydia.
Maria. Who is this?
No, Lydia. Lydia.
Oh, Lydia. Where you been, Lydia?
I've been around.
Yeah, what's going on? What do you think about all this craziness?
Try not to think about it.
That's probably smart. That's probably smart. But it's in your face. It's in your face. It's everywhere you look.
Yes.
Literally, it's on your face and it's in your face. Did you have something you want to ask me? Because we're out of time.
Yes.
What did you want to say?
It was just about lecithin, the difference between the crystals and the pills.
There's powder. There's powder, and then there's the oil-soluble capsules. I like the granules much better.
I know.
All right. Thanks, Lydia. Okay, we are back on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for joining us. We're on the air Monday through Friday, 8 to 9 Pacific, 10 to 11 Central Time, and 24/7 on the archive page at benfuchsarchives.com. Also, brightsideben.com. You can purchase longevity products at brightsideben.com, pharmacistben.com, and criticalhealthnews.com. We've got news stories, blog posts, videos, lots of good health information, all free on all our websites. And you can click on the Join the Team link if you'd like to sign up to join the Brightside Ben team and start a home-based business. Or you can call 866-735-2470. Also, don't forget to take a look at our Truth Skin Health products, all formulated in my compounding pharmacy without preservatives, fragrances, fillers, waxes, water, emulsifiers, silicone, vegetable oil, nothing your skin doesn't need or doesn't want in any of our Truth Skin Health products, all formulated for wound healing. And as it turns out, wound healing equals beauty. When you heal the skin, you beautify the skin, and that's what Truth treatments are all about. They're about healing the skin and beautifying the skin, and that's why we have over 1,400, pushing 1,500 now, 4- and 5-star reviews. You can check them all out at truthreviewed.com, and you can check out our products at truthtreatments.com. We've got holiday specials running as we speak. Truthtreatments.com, truthtreatments.com. I am looking forward to speaking to our guest today. She's a beauty expert and the author of a book called The Chic Mom's Guide to Feeling Fabulous. She's been on multiple television shows, including The Doctors, E!, Fashion Police, Oprah Winfrey, The Oprah Winfrey Network, The Ricky Lake Show. She was the first real person to appear in People Magazine's Most Beautiful issue, and she is quite beautiful. Please welcome to the bright side, Nina Sutton. Hello, Nina.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me on.
Good morning, and I'm looking at your picture here, and I can see why you're a beauty expert, because you are beautiful. How are you doing this? What you must have some secrets, or you were born that way?
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of secrets. It's a lot of what you were just talking about as well, with taking care of your skin and taking care of your health, including, any kind of wound healing, any kind of skincare, but also mentally. And
I love it. I love it. That's so important, isn't it? How our emotions and how we think and feel. We don't hear about that when we we don't often think about that when we think about skincare. But there's a big relationship between how you feel about yourself and how you look.
It makes a huge difference. And the more you tell yourself that you are beautiful and you're healthy and you're energetic and And then it's going to relate to the world, and then it shows up in your skin as well. And because you're also taking the proper steps, right, to take care of yourself.
How do you do that in the face of all these all the messaging we get about that we're not beautiful and that we need to be fixed and that our wrinkles and our dark spots and our rashes and our pimples are these horrible things and we have to fix them and correct them even if it means going to surgery to get rid of them? How do we tell ourselves we're beautiful in the face of all of this messaging?
That's a very good question. I think we have to have that mindset, first of all, look internally and understand that that whole scientific process also of the way you think, the way about yourself is going to relate to how you are presenting yourself to the world. But if you are thinking yourself are beautiful and you're happy and you are a good person and your skin looks great, whatever mantra it might be, it's going to translate into the steps that you're taking. So that means you are getting enough sleep, you're drinking enough water, you are doing the skincare that you need to do, you are surrounding yourself with good people, and all of that is going to translate into I'm beautiful, I'm happy, I'm gorgeous, and that goes also with the way you dress. Everything. It goes from the whole thing, from head to toe.
How did you, what made you want to get into this whole thing of helping people understand how to be more beautiful or how to present themselves more effectively? Do you have a personal story about how you, did you discover it on your own as a teenager, as a kid, the power of all this, or how did you get into it?
Well, that's again another really good question. I loved the beauty industry, and after I finished college, I went into the beauty industry and the fashion industry, and I had just enjoyed it, learned a lot about it, how a lot of things too were, what ingredients were going into products and how they were formulated, and but also how it made people feel and how I felt when I was dressed up and felt good about myself, or my makeup was done and I had a great outfit on. And then I had my first baby. So that sort of changed a little bit because all of a sudden I wasn't in control anymore. And I had to really think about it, going, gosh, I am tired. I just have this child, and I'm taking care of the baby, and I'm up all night, and I'm feeding the baby. There's so many factors, and then you've got work, and you've got family, you've got your spouse, your partner, whatever. There were so many things going on. So I decided to write a book about it. I started writing notes, like how can I go to even a Mommy and Me group and at least feel like I'm not disheveled, and how it changed my mindset. It started changing my mindset from being, I'm a tired mom, to, okay, no, I've got one of the most important jobs in the world, and I'm going to put on a nice little outfit. I'm going to take 1 minute, if I can, to do, my makeup and my hair. And people started responding. They started asking me questions. And a lot of moms would be like, I don't understand. How are you doing this? And that's where the ideas for the book came from, The Chic Mom's Guide to Feeling Fabulous, because it was about taking that moment to, take care of yourself, even if it takes you 1 or 2 minutes. Here's the way you can do it. Then I had another child. So during the whole process of writing the book, so now I had the 2 little ones to take care of. So it really, I'm speaking from real life perspective, and I think that's why it's resonated, because it's not, I'm not, a celebrity that might have, a whole hair and makeup team and a stylist at my beck and call all the time, or a nutritionist and my personal trainer.
You're doing it all yourself? You do everything yourself?
I'm doing everything myself.
So in the Chic Mom's Guide to Feeling Fabulous, what are some of the ideas that you want moms to understand?
I want moms to understand that they didn't have to, have their, feel that tired, kind of like, I'm going to give up, I have no time to do this feeling. And that's what it was, just the quick fixes. So how can we do, these were the ideas. It's like, how do we do this as a community and understand 100% that people that present themselves all the time on, say, television or whatever, they have a lot of help. And this was designed to create your own team, create your own processes to feel good. And now it's actually come full circle because of this stay-at-home order, and with so many people working from home, being from home. So now it's tenfold. You're homeschooling your children. You are working from home possibly as well, and homeschooling your children. I have 3 boys, and trust me, it's not the easiest thing in the world. And, you have to, but you want to feel good about yourself at the same time. So I think that right now, more than ever, the concepts of taking care of yourself are more important.
Okay, so your book is filled with tips and kind of strategies people can use at home, beauty, fashion, cooking, etc. So when we come back, I want to get into some specifics, all right? Nina Sutton is with us. The book is The Chic Mom's Guide to Feeling Fabulous. More with Nina Sutton on The Bright Side right after this break. Don't go away. Okay, we're back on The Bright Side. We're talking to Nina Sutton. Her book is The Chic Mom's Guide to Feeling Fabulous. Nina, the book has got all kinds of great tips in it and great strategies. One thing I wanted you to start off with is tell us about this idea of leftovers for beauty.
Leftovers.
I like that.
For beauty.
Yeah.
Yes, using things that you've either been cooking with, and you've got your coconut oil or your olive oil in hand, and you want to use it because natural ingredients work, when it's like as many as you can, because sometimes you have to multitask at every single point. So if you're making dinner and you want to, do your skincare at the same time, hey, you can, put on some of your oils on your face or on your hands, and at least it's giving you some sort of benefits while you are taking care of your family.
How about fruits and veggies?
Fruits and veggies, I mean, the lemons, especially lemon juice, I mean, they have the like AHAs in them. It really is a true thing. I always said you have to be careful when you put it on, but it was a trick my mom taught me when I was young, and she's East Indian, I'm East Indian, so this is something they would do, and they would take a little bit of lemon juice and put it on their face or on their hands, leave it on for a minute and rinse it off. And they had a nice exfoliating treatment without even knowing it, really.
What about masks? What do you recommend for masks as far as food goes? Food masks.
Oh, my God. First, honey and yogurt are probably my favorite ones. Manuka honey is great. It comes from New Zealand and Australia. I think that's one of the best ones you can get. But just
straight honey? You mean straight? Just put honey right on your face.
Put the honey straight on your face. Leave it on for 10 minutes and then rinse it off. Yogurt, very soothing. Baking soda is an excellent
scrub
for scrub, or even just adding to, say, a yogurt or honey. I'll use it all the time. It really does work. It really does help.
What happens when you put baking soda in with honey as a mask? What do you get for your skin? Lightening?
You're getting a little bit of the brightening factor, but you're also getting the soothing. So there's something I always say, when you're going to exfoliate your skin, you want to also replenish some of the moisture. And one of the most natural things you can do it with is honey. And honey also has the antibacterial properties.
Mm-hmm. Also lactic acid, enzymes.
Yes, all of it. So
go ahead.
You go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm a big fan of retinol, and I use it a lot in my formulations. What do you think? What do you think of retinol?
I love retinol. I love retinol in any form.
Do you use it daily? Use it regularly?
I use it on a regular basis. I like to switch off with the glycolic acid as well. Mm-hmm. And lactic acid. So, as we look at if we're using things from our house as well, you've got, if you're going to switch off between a glycolic, a lactic, like a milk acid, or some sort of like citrus, lemon. I mean, you've got everything basically in your kitchen for the most part. Your basic
It's interesting. Yeah. What about Botox? What do you think of that?
I'm a big fan of Botox.
Okay.
I really am. I think that, and that's something I read about. Sometimes, especially nowadays, if people are, running around with their kids and having to get on a Zoom, a little help, a little Botox can help, because it does, help, stop the wrinkles, stops you from making those facial expressions. But at least you feel fresh as soon as you get up, and that's a big deal. The faster you can be up and about.
Did you wait to use Botox, or did you start using it as soon as it was ready to go?
I will be very, very honest. As soon as it was ready to go, I asked for it. And I had been in the beauty industry, so I had been researching what was coming out. And before then, it was just collagen injections was what people would be doing.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And then finally, I remember my dermatologist saying there's something new coming out called Botox. And it was a great life-changing experience. But of course, once you start, it can be preventative. A lot of women, I think now in their 20s, start it actually as a preventative thing. But for anybody, I'm not against it. I can tell you that. I think a little help for everyone is fine, for men or women.
What about nutritional supplements?
Nutritional supplements, I think, are extremely important because a lot of it comes from the inside. The way you look and feel on the outside comes from what you're doing to your body. How are you treating your body? So are you drinking enough water? Are you sleeping enough? But also the vitamins and the omega-3 fatty acid supplements, vitamin D, all of these things are going to relate to it.
What did you notice about your skin when you started supplementing? I assume you started you didn't always supplement. There was a period. There was a time when you actually just got into it, right? And then what did you notice? Yeah. What did you notice with your skin when you started a supplement program?
Great question. I noticed, especially with the omega-3s, the fish oils, and the flaxseed oil, I noticed my skin was was less dry. It seemed a little firmer. I mean, I could clearly see it. Plus, I felt like I slept better, and I had more energy, and all of those things, because it relates, and you have more energy to go exercise and run around, and and then you sleep well, so it translates to your skin.
How about hair and nails? Did you notice anything for hair and nails?
Huge. My nails. I remember, especially because I have 3 boys, and my last son I had in my I'd say early 40s, and those vitamins that would give us, the prenatal vitamins, I actually was asking for them after I had them, because they would make my nails and my hair so long. I noticed a huge difference, and I also felt like I wasn't catching colds. So it was that I'm like, there was something to it, but definitely your hair gets longer and shinier and thicker, and your nails get longer and thicker as well.
How much of our collective angst about our appearance, our skin, hair, nails, how we look, our wrinkles, our skin rashes, rosacea, et cetera, do you think is due to nutritional deficiencies?
I think it's got a lot. I'd say probably 80% of it.
Yeah.
Maybe more, maybe higher. I think it's a huge impact on our bodies.
Do people come to you for consultations?
This time, the main people that do, I would say, are my 3 boys, and if you can believe it or not, 2 of them who are teenagers now. I have a 14-year-old, a 13-year-old, and then I have a 6-year-old. But the two big boys are definitely asking Mommy for advice and asking for products and what have you to help their skin.
That's great. What about, do you get peels and exfoliation treatments, salon peels and such regularly?
Yes. As much as I can. It's been a little tougher, but I do them at home. I like to do glycolic peels.
Tell me about your glycolic peel. What kind of glycolic peel do you know, like the percentage and the pH and all that?
Yeah. I usually use anywhere from, because I feel like I'm at a higher tolerance now. I'll do a 30%, even if I do a 30%, a little soaked pad, the pads that give you a little bit of exfoliation. If I go into the doctor's office, that's a different story. That's a more in-depth peel that they're allowed to do, and I don't
like
recommend
a phenol
anyone
peel?
doing it at home.
Do you ever do a
It's
phenol
like
peel? VIP peel or anything like that?
Not so much those ones, because for my skin type, they're not the best, but the glycolics and TCAs, those ones, and lactics, those ones are better for me. And then the clear, like lasers, Clear and Brilliant is a nice little laser facial as well.
What do you know about galvanics? Do you know anything about those? The machines that shoot electricity in the skin?
Yes, and those really help with some firming and some wrinkles. And I think that they're good. I have done them in the past. It's not something that I'm. It's funny. They work. I think they work for some people, maybe not for everybody, but they do help firm the skin. I mean, I know friends who use them and feel very strongly, very connected to them.
Nina, we're out of time. Thank you so much. Hey, so the book is The Chic Mom's Guide to Feeling Fabulous. It's on Amazon. Any other ways people can get a hold of you or get a hold of your work?
They can go to NinaSutton.com.
NinaSutton.com. Great. NinaSutton.com, and the book is The Chic Mom's Guide to Feeling Fabulous. Thank you so much, Nina. Very enlightening. Have a beautiful day. Nice to talk to you.
Thank you. You too. Thanks.
That was Nina Sutton. NinaSutton.com is her website. She's also on SheKnows.com. She's got a blog on there, and the book is The Chic Mom's Guide to Feeling Fabulous. That's all the time we have for today. I'm Pharmacist Ben. Have a wonderful, beautiful, awesome, spectacular day, folks. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now.